Well, happy Labor Day, everybody. I hope everybody's having a really good weekend and stuff. We are actually on our way to Rural King. Well, one, I need chicken feed. But two, I was wanting to look at the subcompact tractors. And you're saying, yeah, you always look at tractors while you're over there. Yeah. Well, here lately, I've been looking at a lot of tractors off camera. And it's quite possible that might be in the market for one in the not so near future. I'm not in the market, so to speak, as going to buy one today or even next month any, but maybe the first of next year if everything works out the way I want it to work out. But I might really have a need for one in the not so near future, and we may talk about that in another video. Like I said, I'm still looking around right now. I'm having fun doing it. Been looking off camera. So far we've looked at the RKs and the Coyotes, looked at Massey Ferguson, John Deere I've looked at, and there's a few other dealerships in my local area I haven't got a chance to actually look at yet. And I'll be the first to tell you, the RK is not my favorite of the ones I've seen, but at the same time, we can't rule out the idea of actually looking at them because they're getting to be such a big part of the scene, because people go to Rural King all the time. They see the tractors and they get tractor fever when they look at them. And price point wise, people look, especially people just starting out homesteading and stuff, like to look at them because of the price point. But there's other things you got to look at besides that. You got to look at serviceability, and you got to look at how things are going to happen 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road. Because when you buy something like this, you're not just buying it just to get you through a season. You're buying it to pretty much last you for a while. Big workhorse, But anyway, enough of that. We're just having some fun right now looking at the subcompacts, and we will definitely going to take a look at the RK24 today, because that's about the size range that I'm looking at. Something about 25 horsepower. Now I will say the Coyotes the ones I was looking at was 22 horsepower. But man, I tell you, they had a lot of lifting ability compared to some of these others. But we'll talk about that whenever we get a chance to actually talk about the Coyotes. Today it's going to be about Rural King. So let's go take a look at the RK tractors and let's have a little fun. Now, I know someone out there is saying, John, no. Stay away from the RKs. They are a rebranded tractor. And you're right, they are a rebranded tractor. They are built by TYM. But before you say stay away from a rebrand, I want you to think for just a second. How many of the tractor companies out there actually do not make their own subcompact tractors that they sell? Well, see if any of these brands sound familiar to you. Massey Ferguson, New Holland, Case, Bobcat, Bad Boy. These are companies that don't make their own subcompact. So how is buying a RK any different? It can't be because of service, because RK gets serviced at their own local stores. RK has their own mechanics. Let's take a few minutes and look at the RK24. Okay, so first impressions, I actually kind of like the color scheme, the red and the black. It looks really cool. Makes it, it is eye-appealing. It's got the skid steer quick attach bucket there on the front. All you got to do is just pull the pins up. You can take the bucket off, put your set of paddle forks, your grapple on, set it down. You see there, it's got the kickstands there on the loader, where if you decide you want to take the loader off, you can lower the kickstands, and we get left setting up when you go take it off. You just pull the pins there on the sides and unhook the hoses, and that's all you got to do as far as getting the loader on and off. Now it does have the joystick on the up on the dash instead of there on the side, and that's okay. But actually, next size up will have it down by the armrest, but it really don't matter to me because where I'm a bigger guy, the armrests really don't helped me as well. So joystick up there is not so bad. Now it does have the hydrostatic transmission, which I'm not a big fan of, but that's all you're going to get in this size. In this size, but it does have a 2-stage high and low, so you can have low for when you need real heavy pulls and stuff. 4-wheel drive, locking rear differential. And it's overall, it's not a bad looking tractor. I'm not sure what those switches are. One might be a brake or something. I'm not sure. Somebody could tell me. But anyway, cruise control, which I really don't know why you'd need cruise control on a tractor, but yeah, that's that. It's got the cover for the PTO shaft, turnbuckle 3-point hitch, and it also has one set of rear remotes that comes standard, which I really don't know much what you're going to be using rear remotes for on a tractor this size, unless you're probably running a sprayer, or maybe probably use it for a backhoe, I'm sure. But other than that, it's really not much you're going to do with a tractor this size when it comes to the rear remotes. Now, I must say, sitting in this, it feels actually pretty good. And you got to remember, I'm a bigger fella, so a lot of tractors just don't feel comfortable for me, especially smaller ones. But this one does feel pretty good. I got decent leg room and stuff. I can reach the controls pretty easily. It's not that bad. Now, you got to keep in mind, we do have the joystick up on the side there, but it really don't matter to me if it's sticking up on the side or down the bottom or not, because the reason a lot of people want them down near your hip is because the armrest. Well, again, where I'm a bigger guy, the armrests really don't do me much good, but you can still kind of reach all the controls pretty easy and stuff, and it was not a bad buy for somebody who's just needing something, if you're not wanting to spend a whole lot of money on. So, it's worth looking at. Now, I will say that the Coyote I sat on the other day did seem like it had a little more leg room than this one does, but this one still has pretty ample, and I don't think it'd be that hard to sit in for several hours without feeling that fatigued, which you're going to feel fatigued no matter what kind of machine you're on very long. But, it's not bad. Now, I will say it don't have a tilt steering wheel if that's important to you, but, you can still slide the seat forward and back as you need to. So, and the way it's set up on the dash, really, I don't know if you really have to have a tilt on this one, but just something to remember for what you guys are looking at, if tilt steering wheel is important to you or not. So for a tractor just like this, just looking at the cash price for a tractor, loader, and a mid-mount mower, you're looking at just under $19,000 before taxes. So, yes, it's a lot, but compared to some of the others, it's really not that bad. So, that's how it rolls. Well, we got the boss with us today. Where are we going today, Annie? Do you like Rural King? What are we going to look at while we're there?